Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm here to introduce two amendments, but I want to say just a couple things about the broader bill before I get to them. And most of what I'm about to say is really directed at blatantly false statements that many of my Republican colleagues have said, are saying, and likely will say about this bill. First, this bill slashes Medicaid, cuts Medicaid. More than 8 million Americans will lose their health care because of this bill. You can sugarcoat it all you want with eligibility and work requirements and any waste, fraud, and abuse, but the reality is that that's dressing up a pig, and it is cutting Medicaid. Second, the bill increases taxes for the poorest Americans and dramatically reduces taxes for the wealthiest. If you make less than $51,000 a year, your taxes will go up $700. If you make more than $4.3 million a year, which is the top 0.1% of Americans, your taxes will go down by nearly $400,000. That is reducing taxes for the wealthy and increasing taxes for the poor. Third, this bill repeals tax credits for American energy production that has resulted in hundreds of thousands of jobs created in this country and hundreds of billions of dollars of investment in American manufacturing. The vast majority of both of those are in red districts. These credits also reduce energy prices and increase our energy independence, two things that the America First gang endlessly talk about. And yet, this bill cuts all of that progress. And finally, you will hear my Republican colleagues say that cuts to essential government programs are needed to reduce an exploding deficit. That's nonsense. This bill increases the deficit by at least $3 trillion, so much so that Moody's became the last of the three major ratings agencies to downgrade U.S. debt. Now, this deficit increase will increase annual interest payments on our debt to 9% of total GDP in 10 years. 9%. That is just unsustainable. And yet it is the Republicans who are jamming this through. Now, my amendments address two separate things. One is a very simple amendment that I was shocked did not receive unanimous support in the Judiciary Committee, Amendment 258. It simply says that no federal funding can be used to deport American citizens. Remarkably, every Republican in the Judiciary Committee voted against it, and I hope this committee does not. My second amendment, Amendment 135, addresses what is truly a cruel and cynical attempt to make America hungry again. This bill does not trim SNAP around the edges. It does not cut waste, fraud, and abuse. It cuts SNAP to its core, to the tune of approximately $250 billion, which may sound like an abstract number, but there are human lives at stake. There are children who will go hungry. There are seniors who have to choose between prescription drugs and food. There are working parents who rely on that few $100s a month to put food on their table. My amendment would strike one of the most damaging provisions of this bill, a provision that would shift 75% of the administrative costs onto the states, up from current 50% split. In my district in New York City, more than 118,000 of my constituents use SNAP to put food on the table. And across New York State, 1 in 7 residents depend on it. This bill wouldn't just cut the benefits, it would starve the program. The GOP's proposed changes to SNAP would create a new burden on New York State of over $2.1 billion. And let's be real, what happens when administrative costs shoot up like that? The states can't backfill that amount of money. It's just not feasible. So what happens, of course, is benefits are cut. It's incredibly cynical because you will hear Republicans, and New York Republicans in particular, my colleagues, who have nearly as many SNAP beneficiaries as I do, and they will say, oh, well, it's just putting it on the local officials, on the state. But make no mistake, it increases administrative costs, which is just cutting benefits by another name. This program averages $6 per person per day. And the work requirements that we hear so much about would actually cause 300,000 New Yorkers to lose some or all of their SNAP benefits. That is what this bill is doing, and my amendment would fix that. I urge the committee to support it and rule it in order.
Gentleman yields back. Now recognize the gentleman from Florida, Mr. Moskowitz. For 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My amendment today would prohibit the executive branch from using federal funds to eliminate FEMA, transfer it